have a client coming in today. Damon's a pretty good friend of mine. I've known him for a long time. Damon's got a 1934 Ford oil and gas truck. Super cool. He's bringing it by the shop today so I can work on this thing and make it badass.
What's up, Steve?
What's up,
How are
brother?
you? Good, good.
Oh, man, this is sweet. So why gas and oil?
You know, growing up in the White River Valley, right next to us was Railroad Valley, and it was actually one of the largest oil producers domestically in the U.S.
Really?
We've seen oil trucks that as a kid would be driving down the road, and you'd always go out there and give them the sign to hear them honk.
You know, this 1934 Ford truck is a cool piece of American iconic history. I mean, this whole truck in its life has just been about some old guy in some bib overalls in this thing delivering kerosene, oil. You know, any kind of oils that you needed on your place, this truck would haul it out there. It's kind of funny compared to our oil trucks nowadays.
Yeah. all polished,
What is this, like?
all polished
Yeah.
and glisten and look like a mirror going down the
What do
road.
you got, maybe all of 1,000 gallons it might haul
Yeah.
nowadays?
You know, I met Steve Darnell about 6 years ago. He's the first guy I ever met that was as passionate about old vehicles as I was.
Looks like the rats have been eating it.
That's what drew me to him when I decided finally I needed help to get this thing finished.
But what do you want to do with this thing?
Ultimately, I'd like to take it on a little bit of a road trip, so, you know, do like the old Route 66, go see all the nostalgic gas stations and that stuff.
You know, I think it's really cool that Damon wants to get this truck on the road, but it's a lot of work. This truck's 80 years old. It's in bad shape. It's been used and abused. It's a work truck. I mean, everything about it's pretty much wore out. You know, this rear end's probably gonna have to come out because it's all mechanical brakes. All these lines right here are all the mechanical brake lines. And, you know, when you got 10,000 pounds going down the road at 70 miles an hour, that's not gonna stop you. You know, back in the old days, they had mechanical brakes, which was really basic. You put your foot on the brake, it pushes a lever, and it pulls the rods to stop the brakes. Nowadays, we have hydraulic brakes, and hydraulically, you get 10 times more pressure than you would mechanically. I'd love to take a crack at this thing. I just gotta figure out how much money we wanna put into it.
Oh, yeah, the fun part.
So, what are you thinking?
You know, I'd like to be around the 25, 30 range.
I'm willing to work with you on it, but I think this truck's still gonna cost you around 40,000.
My wife had a big smile on her face when I left the yard, but 40,000 is gonna take that smile right off, and I could be sleeping on your couch if I tell her that.
Yeah, you'd have to give me 100,000 if you're gonna sleep on my couch.
Man, that hurt. That hurt. If we can get maybe low 30s, mid 30s, somewhere in there, you know?
I'm thinking that you're gonna be all of 35,000 in this thing then.
I can live with 35 because the thing I know it's gonna be done right,
Yeah, you want this thing to be a pleasure and a joy, not a pain in the ass.
for sure. Let's
35.
make it happen.
Let's do it.